NCIS and NCIS LA have been on the air for quite some time, but despite sharing the same name, the shows have rarely shared anything else. In fact, the two shows have not shared the screen together in over 5 years, but there have been some events that might be changing that very soon, and with both shows being renewed through 2023, it looks like anything is possible. Stick around, because this video is going to be good news for any fans of NCIS. First up, what has fans thinking there's going to be another crossover? Fans of any show love to speculate what's going to happen next and what directions writers are going to take the characters down. But there are some shows that have more opportunities than others, and any NCIS show is among them. What I mean by more opportunity is that some shows share a universe with other shows, and thus can be crossed over or mixed with those shows, and NCIS is no stranger to doing so. In fact, it has recently had a crossover event that we will talk about later in this video. But getting back on track, why do fans think that we are going to see yet another crossover event from the NCIS family of shows? Well, recently, NCIS LA star Sean Murray, who has brilliantly portrayed Timothy McGee since the beginning of the spin-off show, recently breathed hope into the fans of NCIS who have been begging for another crossover event by posting just a single picture that didn't even have a caption to it. The picture was, of course, Sean Murray with fellow NCIS family member LL Cool J, who of course plays Sam Hanna on the original NCIS show. The picture was nothing too crazy, as it just sees the two actors shaking hands and smiling at the camera while Sean takes an awkwardly angled selfie. And the picture doesn't even have a caption, it just has 3 hashtags that read NCIS, NCIS LA, NCIS family. That's it. It didn't say, "Can't wait for all of you to see our crossover," or "Crossover Bros," or anything like that. It was just a picture. Now, what has fans buzzing is the fact that the background could be literally anywhere, meaning that we have no idea why the pair met. Was it on set? Was it at a table read for a crossover episode? Or did the pair actually just serendipitously run into each other at a completely random location and just knew they had to share it? Here's where the argument has some traction. If it was a random meetup, why would you not caption the picture as such? Why wouldn't Sean Murray have been like, "Wow, look who I ran into"? Why would he keep the picture and the caption so ominous? Unless they actually did meet at a table read for a crossover episode, or they were on set filming a scene for a crossover episode. Is this reaching its straws and something too crazy to think about? Or is there actually some possibility of this happening? What are the odds that this is a real possibility? As I said earlier, all fans love to speculate and dream that their favorite show is going to do exactly what they want them to do, but we all know that's just not how Hollywood or life works. But in this case, we might be getting exactly what we want. Let's look at the facts. We know that both NCIS and NCIS LA are renewed until 2023, which means that they both, at the very least, are getting one more season each. And not only that, but season 19 of NCIS just wrapped up and was received very well, which means two things. One, the odds of NCIS getting renewed again are very high. The cast keeps wanting to come back and do more, and the fans still love watching it, which is a recipe for success in the eyes of TV studios. And two, the latest season of NCIS had a crossover event with the NCIS line of the show's newest project, NCIS Hawai'i. So clearly, NCIS is still willing to have a crossover with their other shows. So why not have a crossover event with NCIS LA? And this is where the proof hits the hardest. There's literally no excuse to not do a crossover event with these two shows. For starters, they're both renewed for another season, which means that filming an episode that goes on both shows has never been easier or more guaranteed. Secondly, the actors are clearly in good enough spirits to ignite the fan base's passion for a crossover event on social media, so why not just do one in real life? Thirdly, it has been nearly 8 years since the last time these two shows crossed over, which is utterly ridiculous if you ask me. You're telling me that Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl have had a crossover event before these two shows that literally share a name do? That's insane. Moreover, the fan base has been recently expanded thanks to the success of the latest season of both shows, and it seems like there is no better time than now. So why not do it? Well, I do have a theory that spells good news for the fans, but bad news for this crossover event. Why I believe these two shows won't cross over in 2023. I know all of you fans of these shows are worried, and you're sitting watching this video with a massive pit of disappointment in your stomach. But don't be alarmed. I think the reason these two shows will not have a crossover is because they have a much better solution on the horizon. So as I mentioned earlier, NCIS and NCIS Hawaii just recently had a crossover event, and it was well received and well rated. So that most likely means that the producers want to capitalize on the success of both shows and use this sudden spike in popularity to their advantage. And what better way to weaponize popularity than to do a crossover event with not just two shows, but with all three? That's right, I think that NCIS and NCIS LA won't cross over because they will be crossing over together with NCIS Hawaii to make a 3-show crossover event that will blow everyone's minds. This actually makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that we know NCIS LA and NCIS Hawaii are going to cross over eventually, but because they are the spin-off shows, why not have them cross over with the flagship program as well? Not only that, but these shows all take place in different cities, meaning that it was way easier for the real cast and crew to film a crossover with all 3 shows in one location rather than to do a crossover with only 2 shows and leave the other show randomly in the dust. Not only that, but this will allow the audience members who only watched 2 of the 3 shows to have a reason to watch all of the shows after seeing their main characters in action. I know what some of you are thinking. That's too many characters for one crossover episode. And you would be right, but that is why I'm calling it an event and not an episode. This will be the crossover event to end all crossover events. Other networks like the CW have taken a great number of their shows and crossed them over in a multi-episode event that had fans of multiple shows buzzing. For example, the CW used all their main DC superhero shows like Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Batwoman to create a huge crossover event that saw all of the respective heroes' villains team up to try to do something that no single villain could do alone, and it worked out amazingly. Fans got to see their favorite and more familiar characters team up and quip with some of the other characters that they don't watch or know as well, which obviously saw some people decide to watch some of the other shows on the network. It's brilliant for the network and for the fans, and it would essentially be the same for the NCIS family of shows if they followed a similar formula. What if there was a serial murder or a team of serial murders that were working in one location, either LA, Hawaii, or Washington, that were associated with the other 2 teams, thus requiring them to all work together in the central location as a team to try and stop this team of serial murders? This would give all 3 teams a reason to be in the same location, and it would give them a common goal. It would also work to progress the story of whatever city the event took place in, which would mean that it would make the most sense to take place in Hawaii so that the show could accelerate its early season progress while also attracting new audience members. But a 3-show crossover event spanning multiple episodes and involving multiple cast members from each show would be incredible and would do such a great job of world building, which is something that is all the rage right now in modern cinema and TV, but have been unfortunately left out of the NCIS universe. If this were to actually happen, I think fans would be ecstatic, and it would do wonders for the overall popularity of the show. What do you think? Would you watch a crossover event with all 3 shows at the same time? Let us know in the comment section below. That's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you all in the next one.